Everyone, and a very warm welcome to another episode of myself, VATSIM 2024. So today we are back at Gatwick, as you can just hear there. Doing a flight over to Oslo Garden Airport. Hopefully all well this evening. Hopefully all the streams are working as they should do. So we haven't really set anything up yet, so passengers are just about to start boarding, but we still got the overhead flow to go through. And then work out our performance for this evening's flight. So, like I say, today we are flying across to Oslo.
Taxi Tango, hold short of Juliet.
So have a quick look at our operational flight plan for today's flight. So, call signs a little bit different today. EasyJet 97 Lima and cost index is 36.
Holding point Alpha 3. Contact Gatwick Tower 124.230. Bye bye.
Flight level 370 for our cruise, 0 fuel weight 55.9, 55.1, 139 passengers, expecting 26 left for departure, frame 1 Mike Sid. So around 2 hour flight this evening, we're expecting runway 19 right at Oslo. So hopefully you're all well, and we'll get ourselves started and start setting up. So we're expecting 7.4 tonnes of fuel. Everything's all happening all in one go. So we'll go through the overhead flow. So cruise supply needs to be on, ground control activated. IRS's 1, 2 and 3. Cool, that's not what I want to do. Fuel pumps. So we'll hold up on the CFS signs for the minutes. We will pop the navigation logo lights on. So like I say, we're just awaiting for refuel. Let's have a quick look out there. Yeah, it's just getting himself sorted now.
Requesting IFR clearance to La Coruña. I believe that was blocked. First, Ryanair 007, contact Gatwick Tower.
Let's jump down to the MCDU, and so refuel has just started. We'll go on to the init page. We've already got a first page in. So we need to put our block fuel in, which is 7.4 tonnes exactly.
The station calling Gatwick for clearance. Call sign.
So refuel weight is 55.1, sorry.
Roger, I've got an issue with your flight plan. Stand by, I'll call you back.
28.9 is our CG this evening.
County Tower 330, ready for taxi.
So our takeoff speed is 148, 148, 151, so we're quite a heavy aircraft this evening. Flight 1 for departure, thrust of 67. Moving on to the flight plan page, we're expecting 26 left for departure like we said, and frame 1 Mike Sid. So frame 1 Mike Sid there, insert that and pop that straight in. So we're going to our arrival now, and we're expecting 19 right. From what we can see here, it's the RIPMAT for Mike. Rich, for Mike. Just jump on the page plan here, and we'll get a look to see how that looks. And we'll also have a look over on our charts as well, just to see how that's going to look for our arrival.
Filed an incorrect departure. The seat is not available until 11 PM tonight. Can you accept the Hardy 1 X-ray departure? Runway 26 left. Affirming, take the Hardy 1 X-ray departure.
So typically we go from Bavad, is usually the...
1325. Roger, and also maximum to Paris is flight level 230.
That should get us all computed.
Affirming, can accept 230.
750 miles, 1 hour 59 minutes. This is 2.7 extra tons of fuel. One thing we can do just to get the fuel a bit more accurate is we look at our trip wind, which we can get from the pilot brief. So we've got a trip window heading, so it's a headwind 5 knots. So just put H5. That'll just give us a little bit more of an accurate fuel. So it's only giving us 8 minutes now.
Level 230, squawk 6220, table 13252. Good, 1325, be back correct. Information Foxtrot, Q&H 1034.
So our alternate this evening, let's have a look. Alternate is ENTO, which if I'm honest, I'm not sure what that is, but
right now, there is a return,
I'll
not
look at that.
Contact Gatwick Tower 124.230.
So Torp Airport is where that is. We have to see it on our routing across.
Ryanair 88 Papa, Gatwick ground. Hello, welcome to London Gatwick. Hold short of Papa, expect stand 10.
Stand 10, hold short of Papa.
Not sure where Torp is, but we'll have a look at that shortly. Hey Ed, how we doing? Good evening everyone, hope you're all well. So still waiting for the refueling to complete. Show me much longer before that is all done. Initial climb 6,000 feet, QNH 1034. One thing we can do is we can get our clearance ready.
Fire left on Alpha November and Mike.
So frame 1 mark departure. We'll do request our clearance. We just turn in.
Griffin 09 Papa's holding short of Papa. Griffin 9 Papa, after the Ataro Airbus A320 Neo taxi from your left to right in front. Taxi stand 18 by Juliet. A320 Neo from left to right.
Oh, so Sandalwood Airport is proper. Is our ultimate this evening. So it should be a reasonably nice time for departure. It's not quite dark yet.
Griffin 6-3 Foxtrot after the Ryanair taxis from your left.
They're still getting the
on to Mike. Continue taxi, well taxi holding point Mike.
Refueling still going on.
Left by Mike.
You're still getting passengers getting on behind us.
Ryanair passes left to right on Mike. Taxi holding point Mike 1, runway 26.
So we've got 4 minutes to IRS alignment.
Griffin 6-3 Foxtrot.
Get ourselves pushed back. So PDC is available. We probably won't use PDC though, we'll just use voice.
7, do you have our clearance by any chance?
We could consider using PDC.
7 Gatwick ground standby. Break, Ryanair 2 Mike Charlie. Contact Gatwick Tower 124.230, bye-bye.
24.230, Ryanair 2 Mike Charlie,
Griffin 6-3 Foxtrot, hold Mike 1. Contact
Yeah, if we look down here, so what we'll do, we'll do try and do a PDC departure. The Echo Golf here clears the code, we'll notify them, and that should hopefully do its thing.
Gatwick Tower 124.230, bye-bye.
That's it, they've been notified.
Thanks for service, Tower 230, bye.
Ryanair 8 Papa, continue taxi stand 10 via. Oh, you've missed the Juliet now. Ryanair 88 Papa, taxi stand 10.
So we're going to request
Zulu.
and we can request our clearance from this point once it's all connected. So what we want to do is go to ATSU menu, ATC.
November 4-1 Kilo, continue taxi holding point Alpha 3 via
This is
Papa.
ASC menu, November. Initial flights. I'm trying to think now. It's been that long since I've done one of these. ATC request, sorry. ATC requests pre-departure clearance is what we're after. Right, there we go.
Bravo Delta, Gatwick ground. Hello, welcome to London Gatwick. Taxi left Romeo Lima, hold short of Quebec Alpha. Expect stand 499.
Left Romeo, hold short Quebec Alpha.
Echo November Golf Mike. Stand number is 555.
November 4-1 Kilo Juliet, contact Gatwick Tower 124.230, bye-bye.
124.230,
EasyJet Lima's our call sign. ATIS ID, well we've got to look at the latest ATIS. So ATIS is Golf.
Iberia 787, thanks for your patience. Just say again your aircraft type. A320 Neo.
Pop in our aircraft type there, A319.
Iberia 787, cleared destination Lima Echo Charlie Oscar, Northmer 1 X-ray departure, squawk 7270.
Okay, cleared to La Coruña via the Northern 1 X-ray departure, squawking 7270, Iberia 787.
Iberia 787, correct information Golf, QNH 1034, report ready.
Okay, QNH 1034.
So then, we'll do our pre-departure.
Thank you.
Unable. Interesting. It's unusual.
on jet.
Just double check.
So that's not a problem. If you continue Sierra Lima, hold short of Quebec Alpha.
Sierra Lima, hold Quebec Alpha.
Just give it a second. There we go. So we've got our pre-departure clearance here. It's all been done. So RSs are now aligned. Let's see what sign. Oh, see what sign on to pair. We can go with the APU one. So we're cleared to Echo Alpha November Lima. 26 left for departure. Frame 1 marked to what was expected. Initial climb 4,000 feet. So we'll just change that. And squawking 7576. Squawking 7576. Next week's 121805, which is what we've got. So we'll go Roger on that, and we'll send that copy back. There we go. That says it's been received by ATC, and we are all good to go.
Whiskey Papa Lima, taxi holding point Alpha 3 via Papa and Alpha November.
Alpha 3 via Papa and Alpha.
So we'll get the APU running. I think we're just waiting for bags to be loaded, and then it will be on our way. So before copy prep, get pins cover smooth, fuel quantity for 7.4 tons, seatbelts on, it is now.
7 Bravo Delta,
1034.
Stand 49
Okay.
right.
So it is very unusual for us to use this.
That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, it should be straight ahead on Lima.
I thought, yeah,
Oh, level
Zero
1,
one
ready to
three two
go.
five super, brief, push and start, stand 569 up.
So we're just waiting for boarding to commence. Once boarding's completed, which to be fair, looks like the last one's just coming on.
Ground, Roger, QNH 1034, stand 564, push and start approved.
Push and start approved, QNH 1034, speedbird 13250 super.
Don't know why AP's not started, but try again. In a second, our boarding should be
Ground, you ready at
completed.
77 there, ready for push and start.
We're at 787, stand 2, correction, stand 20, push and start approved, face east.
Okay, face DC, ready at 787.
So a minute behind, well, nearly a minute behind departure. We're not too far.
Ground, Lufthansa, 9 Whiskey, information Foxtrot, book QNH 10.
AP's available. AP bleed on and off. There. So we're literally just waiting for that boarding announcement, which should be any second.
Roger,
I
report
believe.
aircraft type.
Aircraft type Airbus C320neo.
Just see how many passengers we got on.
Lufthansa 9 Whiskey, thanks, cleared to Frankfurt.
One more passenger, and then we're good to go.
1411, QNH 1034.
Lovely, boarding's complete.
Frankfurt via M419 departure.
So we'll press push and start.
Lufthansa 9 Whiskey.
Lufthansa 9 Whiskey, correct information, Golf is current, report ready. Break, Swiss 2 Papa Lima, contact Gatwick Tower 124, decimal 230, bye-bye.
2420.
So before starts, parking brake is set, take off speeds and thrusts. So 148, 148, 151, thrust 67, windows, doors closed, beacon is on. So now request our pushback clearance.
Zero 13250 for request taxi.
Speedbird 1325, taxi Lima Papa, hold short of Kilo.
Lima, Papa, hold short, Kilo, speedbird 13250 Super.
A special welcome to our EasyJet Plus cardholders. If you would like to know more about this service,
Go ground EZ97 Lima is ready for push and start.
my name is Norman. It's my pleasure.
Easy 97 Papa Lima, Gatwick ground QNH 1034. After the British Airways Airbus A319 taxis behind you from your left to right. Stand 555. Push and start approved. Stay south.
Gentlemen, we are here for your comfort.
After the British Airways A380 push approved facing south EC97 Lima.
Go down, Iberia 77 ready for taxi.
So just waiting for this.
The 787 hold position and squawk 7270.
7270 Iberia 77.
Ground, speed 1325.
Stand by seconds, waiting for the
right
A380
on
to push
down
back.
Quebec, just because we don't have the Gatwick scenery, which means if I go through the part, so if I go left on Lima, it'll tell me I've crashed. So can we
we're just
request to go
waiting
down
for this
right
A380
Lima,
to
then
push
back
from
Quebec
behind.
instead, if that's possible.
Then we'll get going.
Speedbird 1325. Yeah, my apologies for that. So in that case, new taxi, the right on Quebec Bravo, left on Quebec, hold short of Juliet.
Right Quebec out, right Quebec Bravo, left Quebec, hold short Juliet, 1325 Super, thank you very much.
The 78 Mike Whiskey, taxi holding point Alpha 3 via Papa and Alpha November.
Alpha 3 by Papa and Alpha.
So he's literally stuck behind us, you want that? Everyone have a doing it. Well, we'll put one and check the safety.
Gatwick ground,
There we
radio
go.
check.
Station
Brakes
point
released,
Gatwick
slow
ground,
push.
delivery time.
Start sequence 1 and 2, start to number 1.
To adjust and unfasten by lifting the top of the buckle. It must be fastened when the
Easy
seat
78
side is
Mike Whiskey, QNH 1034.
whenever you're in.
133.7.
Supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Hold the mask in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your seats. Remove it from the pouch and put it over your
We're about a
head.
minute behind schedule, but can't really help with that.
Gatwick ground, good evening. Easy 59, stand 564 with information golf.
You must not inflate
Type
your life
Airbus
jackets
A320
until you're
Neo,
outside.
requesting clearance to
Once
Edinburgh, please.
outside, inflate it by pulling the
Easy
toggle.
59 Gatwick ground, Roger.
If it
Cleared
doesn't
Edinburgh,
inflate,
Lambourne
you'll
6
need
Mike
stopping
departure, squawk 3257.
There is a light and whistle for attracting
Cleared
attention.
Edinburgh, Lambourne 6
The
Mike
crew can
departure,
help you
squawk
with life jackets for
3257.
children.
Easy 59.
Engine 1 available, starting engine 2.
59 correct.
Safety card in your seat
QNH
pocket before
1034,
takeoff.
report ready.
It contains important safety information specific to this
Flaps
aircraft,
1.
such as the
Easy
brace
7 Mike
position,
Whiskey contact Gatwick
brace
Tower,
position,
124.230,
Please
bye bye.
now close your seat table,
124
put the armrests down, open the window blinds, and fasten your seatbelts. Thank you for your attention.
Yeah, Ben, how we doing, mate? Hey, Jason, how we doing, buddy? Hope you well.
Lufthansa 54 Echo Gatwick ground, hello, welcome to London Gatwick.
Let's get
Taxi
ourselves started
Romeo,
up, and then we'll get ourselves
Lima,
taxiing.
hold short of Quebec Alpha, expect stand 54 right.
Brake set clear to disconnect.
Seabird 1325, continue taxi holding point Alpha 3 via
Engine 2 is
Juliet,
available.
Papa and Alpha November.
Continue taxi to
Take
hold
off
point
config.
Alpha 3 via Juliet, Papa, Alpha November, speedbird 1325 Super.
Gatwick ground, good evening. Seabird 257. With
At start, attention on priority cam status, check pitch trim, 0.67, rudder trim is neutral. Evening Ben, how are we doing, mate? Hope you well.
Seabird 257 Gatwick ground.
We're going over to
Lima,
Oslo this
Falconer
evening.
1X ready departure, squawk 7604.
Flight controls, full up. Pull down. Neutral.
Cleared to
Pull
Geneva via
left.
the Wagner 1 X-ray
Pull
departure.
right.
squawk
Neutral.
720.
Rudder, pull left. Pull right. Neutral. Just wait for the pin, and we'll get ourselves going.
Back correct, QNH 1034, report ready.
1034, report ready. Seabed 257.
Ground, you ready? 77 ready for taxi.
Yeah, good, all good, thank you.
787, taxi point
yes,
Mike
Jason,
1,
mate, all good, thanks, mate.
left, by Mike.
So, just
okay,
probably
Mike
just a
1
bit of concentration out of this, the pin.
Yeah, Mike for 26 left, you ready?
And we'll request taxi.
EasyJet ready for push and start.
EasyJet stand 564, push and start approved, face south.
Don't know about that, plane's off too.
Push and start approved, facing south, EasyJet.
Oh, nice one, awesome, mate.
Gatwick ground, easy.
Aviator, don't mate. A few of you on this evening. So let's request.
Easy 854, Gatwick ground. Hello, welcome to London Gatwick. Taxi.
It's a very, very busy frequency.
Lima, hold short of
so we have already got the next frequency tuned in,
124230,
124230, so that's all ready to go. It's our tower frequency. Then there won't be any ATC for a little bit, and I'm hoping by the time we get to Oslo there'll be some ATC online.
Quebec Alpha, expect 48 left, easy 854.
Seabird 1325, contact Gatwick Tower 124, decimal 230.
So we'll request taxi.
Tower 124230, thanks for your help tonight, bye bye.
Oh,
Sierra 787, contact Gatwick Tower 124, decimal 230, bye bye.
Okay, 24230, ready? 77, adios.
Okay. Gatwick ground, easy 97 Lima is ready for taxi.
Easy 97 Lima, taxi holding point Alpha 3 via Lima, Papa and Alpha November.
I'll put down 3 Lima Papa Alpha November, easy 97 Lima. So we'll just have a quick look at that. So we know that it's going to be off to the left, so taxi lights. So we know we are for taxi to the left, so Lima Papa Alpha November Delta 3. So
Lufthansa 54 Echo after the EasyJet Airbus A319 taxis in front of you on Lima. Continue taxi stand 54 Romeo via Lima.
I can't see a Delta 3, I don't know if it's Alpha 3.
54 left on Lima. Stand 54.
Lufthansa 54 Echo, stand 54 left approved.
I got regard, just to confirm, did you say holding point Delta 3, easy 97 Lima?
Negative, it's holding point Alpha 3 by Lima, Papa and Alpha November.
Yep, no reason to Alpha 3, not Delta 3. Did think that. So I've never heard of it Alpha 3. There we go, must have just misheard him, or he said the wrong thing. There we go.
EV 854, give way to Lufthansa Airbus A320 on Lima. Continue taxi stand 48 left via Lima.
Here we go, hold in. Yeah, so we're doing it shouldn't be a long flight, but well, it's about 2 hours roughly. Probably about 2 hours 15 stand to stand, but so it shouldn't be too long a flight. We've not been flying to Oslo for a little while, so I thought we'd mix it up a little bit and try something new. I tend to fly to places where there is scenery already available for flights in 2024. So we want next right here on to Papa, and like I say down to Alpha November. Like I say, Gatwick's always fairly busy. It's quite a busy airport. And generally speaking, there's normally ATC on most of the time, which is why we fly from here a lot. Alright, so taxi checklist, flight controls check, flap setting, config 1%, radar predictive wind shear system on and auto engine and mode selector. I'm pretty sure that's at normal. Yep, normal. And economy taking a blue. So we've got a packed on departure this evening as well. We're not doing anything different. So we want Alpha November next, which is basically the third left, I think. Just double check my right here, so that's going to impede us here. And like I say, we'll be going over to tower frequency very shortly. Like I say, feel free to go on our YouTube channel as well. A lot more content on there than there is on TikTok.
7 Lima, contact Gatwick Tower 124 decimal 230, bye bye.
Over Tower 124230, easy 97 Lima, bye.
Johan, 325, runway 26 left, so 340, good
Clear takeoff 26 left, Spear 122 Vassiva, thanks.
So just make a left turn, then we'll just contact tower. Gatwick Tower, EasyJet A319.
EasyJet Gatwick Tower, hello, via Alpha 1 now.
What did you say again, EasyJet? It's a bit broke.
EasyJet via Alpha 1, line up runway 26 left.
Flight Alpha 1, line up 26 left. So we can increase thrust a touch, get us rolling a bit better. So there's nothing, well there's nothing on the inbound at the moment. So we'll prepare for the long line up. So TCAS TARA, packs 1, 2 are already both on. Let's a little bit bright.
You got 1325, no further ATC, switch Unicom 122, display, have a flight, bye bye.
122 decimal, thank you very much, Seabird. 132.
So we're making the next left here, and then we'll be off after the A380. Nothing on the approach. So we'll just focus on getting lined up nicely. No, not like that. It's not lined up like that. Get that nose in the middle. So we'll just hold ourselves just here somewhere. Just wait for our takeoff clearance, then we'll get going.
EasyJet 70, runway 26 left, 340, these 4 knots.
Let's take a 26 left, EasyJet. So thrust 50%. Take off. Man flex 67 S thrust right, thrust pull.
5-9 for Alpha.
85 Gatwick Tower, hello, via Alpha 1, line up runway 26 left.
Line up 26 left via Alpha 1.
Thrust set 100 knots. B1, rotate. Positive line, go up. Nav. Let's put this to some.
EasyJet 70, no further ATC, switch Unicom 122, display, have a flight, bye bye.
Unicom 122 display, thanks to ATC, EasyJet 70 in back. Well, just climb flying. Gatwick traffic EasyJet 970 on frame 1 at Mount departure, climbing flight level 40. Clap 0. AP1. It's fair actually, should we fly? Let's try and fly this circuit a little bit. Let's try and fly it. To constraint 4,000.
Please keep your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is switched off. We suggest suggest you keep it fastened whenever you're in your seats. Be careful when you open the lockers, as items may have moved. There are toilets at both ends of the aircraft and they all have smoke detectors. Smoking is not allowed at any time. This includes vapes and other e-cigarettes.
AP1, just trying to get you a nice view of the airfield, but in fact you'll probably see most of it from straight ahead of us. There you go, there is Gatwick in all its glory. It's a fairly nice flight to fair Manchester. Like, I don't really fly from Manchester very often. I don't really know why, to be fair, because there's normally ATC on as well. Just depends on how we're doing. Are you still watching, Jason, or you disappeared for now? Like I say, feel free to give us a subscribe if you haven't already. And you can see TikTok live, that's the thing, probably. See all the chats, but there we go. Hey, Stefan, how are you doing, mate? It's a fairly nice departure really out of Gatwick. It's got one aircraft ahead, 1,900 below. Chance are he's probably equivalent to Gatwick. Looking at him. So we're sort of, brain is sort of out Maidstone direction, so then we're going to be tracking further north over Southend-upon-Sea, Colchester, Ipswich, then tracking sort of over Norfolk way out over the North Sea, and then pretty much straight across to Oslo for our arrival. We may get a little bit of ATC on there with Denmark is online, which will fly just slightly into their restriction. And then hopefully we will get a little bit more ATC online as we get a little bit further in the approach. You can see, you can just see an aircraft there over to the right coming into Gatwick. If you can quite pick it up with the lights, it's quite difficult sometimes. So let's see him on the radar. So there isn't any other aircraft in front of us. Chances are what we could consider doing is going pretty much direct to Frayne. Oh, to be fair, we could probably make a further left turn actually. Let's have a look to see what's going to be efficient for us. Just let that time down a little bit. Yeah, we could go direct Casper. Okay. Gatwick Truck Easy, 970 climbing flight level 180 inbound, Toffee. Climb 180. Get ourselves out of this restriction. So there's no other traffic about, so it's not really causing any problem for anyone else. That should reduce our flight time a touch as well. We'll have navigation on the co-pilot's monitor. I don't know if you see a little bit of central London as we see the cross, but there you go, got the Shard and stuff in the background there. All lit up with the Shard on the left and the HSBC building. Not sure if the our Twitch is working at the moment, but let's see from there. He's still with us, Ben. He's still watching, and he disappeared somewhere. So standard pressure set. In a minute we can get the land lights off and seatbelts can come off as well. There's no sort of adverse weather And then we'll start to have a look at the weather over in Oslo. So I'm going to look at our ATC messages. So you get a few extra messages. We've got our pre-departure clearance there as well. There's another one that I've missed as well, apparently. Yeah, see messages. Load sheet, there we go. 10,000 feet, landing lights can come off, and we can release the cabin. And go get a nice view over central London here off to the left hand side. Reasonably nice view. Another aircraft above us. So what we'll do now, we'll climb at flight level 37, I think it is. 37 is our cruise, so let's go 37. Just continue that steady climb up to our cruise. Nice view over central London there off the left hand side of the wing. Hey Jacob, how are we doing? Hopefully everything's okay with what volumes and microphones and stuff this evening. So we will probably come into some form of ATC control zone as we proceed further north. Currently it's showing that we will be going to Copenhagen control, which is 126055. So get that tuned and ready. So done there. Okay, we've got London City there off to the left hand side as well. Oh, the wings are not very. Oh, I don't know where the wings are. Right, there you go. And have the wing lights on. Like I said, we're really looking forward to this new overhead coming. Once that comes, it should be a lot better, a little bit more fluid with the flight as well. Shouldn't really need to change position too much either. Should be fairly straightforward. Even everyone, hope you're all well. Hey Polly, how are we doing? Had a couple of people yesterday saying that they were the company traffic. So I guess in Ben you're flying in the 737, I guess. Ryanair, I would assume. And if you're wondering about the pushback, pushback is due to the basically it's due to the traffic. I'm just having a quick look at that. I've just seen another aircraft, but I think I've seen things. Oh no, there is another one there. Like I say, hopefully we'll not have much of an update from the company that are making the overhead. Like I said, I've not really seen much of their products either, so it's a little bit of a risky gamble. But they look reasonable quality. The products do, so I don't think it's a bad decision to make. It's a safe decision. I think their quality is pretty good. They're all custom made as well, and all the flight controls and everything. All the don't want to call them buttons, corries are custom made as well, which is quite nice. I think that's a bit of a sunset we've got coming into view there. I don't know if you can see that red light in front. Looks like either the sun on its way down or the moon coming up, one of the two. Saying that the moon should already be up. So have a look, see if we can spot the moon. To be fair, the sunset's over that direction, so it's probably the moon. It seems very, very low this evening. Something like that before. There we go. Looks like we're pretty much following the moon as well. Should be pretty nice. So yeah, so the company that the Airbus is the overhead panels from is from a company called Java Simulator. So they're based over in Thailand, so it's unfortunately not a product nearby. Don't get me wrong, there are some very, very good products. The Skolaki Simulations one looks amazing, to be fair, but it's just a little bit small for what I realistically wanted, so I didn't want anything exactly full size. Well, I'd love to have something full size, but it wouldn't realistically fit, but I didn't want anything that's really, really small, so I had to sort of go in between. So they've got a large option which sort of sits between the two. It should be it's being manufactured as we speak at the moment, and I've been told that the production date should be by the 15th of this month, so then it's just the shipping time from there to the UK, which shouldn't be too long, to be fair. It's going by air, so it'll probably be around a week, I would imagine. 1 to 2 weeks. I think it allows 15 working days, so obviously that includes clearing customs and all that sort of stuff as well that comes with that. Yeah, so when that comes, that should be good. We'll do a full review video of that over on YouTube as well. Chats that will probably make a snippet of that onto TikTok as well, as TikTok seems to be a place where we're getting quite a lot of attention lately. Feel free to give us a like, comment, subscribe as well on YouTube and also onto TikTok. If you've got any questions, we'll try to answer them. Let's say we have to answer the question, depends on what it's about. As you can see, we've got a beautiful sunset coming up in the background there. It's pretty nice. A lot of sunset even. The moon, got a look at it. It's sitting really, really low. I'll have a look now to see if there is actually a so then it sounds like this. Let's have a look. So it's giving us a view in a minute. Yeah, so we've got a super moon tonight, which is obviously being simulated on VATSIM as well, which is pretty good. So I'm kind of pleased. We did a flight to the north, and we're getting a good view of that as well. I think it's called the harvest, sunset harvest moon, from what I understand. So I would look to see realistically when to lagers the EGKK. It's the waypoint of where we entered the next lot of airspace, which is a little way away. In fairness, we probably could go pretty much direct from where we are at the moment. That would get us in a straight line there. So 134 miles away from that. Would increase our speed a touch as well. Anything what we consider is we've not got a huge amount of extra fuel. Probably wouldn't be a good idea. Like I say, any questions that anyone's got, feel free to answer. Like I say, there's not a huge amount going on at the moment. The sunset just setting up the left hand side of us. Yeah, a little bit better from there actually. One thing I've noticed is the cabin lights are so bright even at night, so what we could consider doing is we could turn the cabin lights down. You'll notice there's no passengers, it's just because I've not updated GSX properly to support that. So let's try and dim the cabin lights a little bit. It should be over here somewhere. The Fenix options. That's a lot better, isn't it? There we go. Now hopefully it'll look a little bit, now it gets a bit better. Cabin doesn't look quite as bright then. Let's just cool outs as well. So for some reason, since Fenix update, it works on the aircraft configuration file. So if EasyJet don't operate the full call outs, it won't do that. But personally, I prefer them having them on there, to be honest. So there we go. Like I say, there's quite a few airspaces opening up. Actually, seem to be increasing quite drastically. Some of that can be over. Let's have a quick look. So there's nothing at Oslo currently. Basically everywhere else in that sort of region there is, but like I say, never know, things do change. We've got another hour or so flight time off the fly. Hey Gareth, how are we doing, buddy? I think I saw you pop on earlier, to be fair. Pretty sure I'd seen you sneak on. Don't know if anyone, if you see this moon, Gareth, it's all looking pretty good this evening. Pretty cool. Like I said, we don't tend to fly north very often, so we don't really see as much. It's certainly really nice to fly with. It's like we're over open ocean pretty much now. We're just leaving the UK land as we speak. If we look over here, yeah. Pretty much just coming off land now. We've head sort of Colchester region, Norfolk. Pretty cool sunset. So let's start having a look at the weather information for our descent into Oslo. So click on the pilot brief option, airport weather. So we're interested in only one bit of information. You've got all this volcanic ash data and all sorts. So we're only interested in this section here, which is the destination airport information. So so that's at current time. This is sort of going forward. Future, and that's what it's becoming. So currently QNH is 10-12, 1010, no significant changes there. Wind is 190 at 9 knots, and it's becoming 11 o'clock to 11:02, 280 at 10 knots. So it's not really changing anything. So if the direction's changing in touch with the actual speed, it's not really changing a great deal. What we could consider doing though is we can request an up-to-date weather. So this is the predicted weather. To request the updated weather, what we can do is we can head down to the FMC And in fairness, we can just disconnect from this now, because actually I'm not going to get anything, so we can actually disconnect from this network, because realistically, forgetting the right page of connection. Show connection status open. Oh, so it isn't actually connected, so it shows it's connected, but it's not actually connected, which is quite good. So let's go to ATSU. We want the weather information. If you guys can see it here, so after this option here, which is the weather, we could request the ATIS if the tower was online, but they're not currently online at the moment. So we want ENGM. Click weather requests, pop the identifier in there, which is that. We want a meta format, accept. We'll head over to messages and we'll just wait for messages to pop up in a second. This or it'll either be on that page or it'll be in the ATSU menu. You see receive messages. There you go, there's weather data. So I'm just going to type this out. So wind is 220 at 10 knots currently. The temperature is 13 degrees Celsius. That was at 1750 Zulu. BNH1010, no significant change. That gives us all the information there to pop in our performance. So if we go to approach performance, so we now know the QNH is 100. Temperature was 13 degrees Celsius. The wind was 220 at 10 knots. It's definitely not 220 at 10. And our approach speed is 129. We'll probably give it a service entry about 30. I like a nice round number. And then we need to put our minimums in. So the minimums we can find over here on the flight bag. And what we'll do is go into the charts. So Gatwick, ENGM, and we want to look at the ILS runway 19 right. So there is minimums here. There you go. So it's actually on a completely different page. Oh, it's here. It's a completely different page. 143. That's interesting. It actually is different. So we'll go with the ILS runway. So this is based on the ILS runway 19 right. That's okay. So depends on what sort of visibility we've got. Excuse me. So we know from looking at the weather that the weather that's been reported is actually okay. There's not the cloud-wise, everything's okay. Another way you can also check that is to go onto the screen here, weather arrival. In fairness, it's not really giving you a great deal with regards to what the clearance sort of weather is. So we can only presume that the weather is actually okay. So in which case we want our minimums. We're on the right page. The charts. So we look at the minimums here. Decision height. So obviously we know it's ILS 19 right, which is what we want. We know it's a straight in ILS landing, which is what we want here. And that gives us ABCD. So that is based on this column here. So I don't know if you can notice down here. So we've got ABCD here. So RVR is the runway visual range. So that is to do with fog. So if it's foggy and you can only see 600 meters, the ATIS will tell you how many meters the visibility is, which then sort of puts you at that vision there. So we can actually take the lowest at the minute, which is the 600 meters one. So 943. Take pop that in Barrow. It does give you 267, which is the radio altimeters if you do need it. But there you go. That's how you select your minimums for our approach. So that's pretty much all set up. Obviously we'll just recheck the winds on the way down, make sure there's no huge changes there. It's pretty much just the case now, just continuing across the North Sea, and then we'll be, like I say, we'll be going into Copenhagen controls TPD obviously is not available, so we'll have to just talk manually with them. It said it's short sector, and then we'll be out of their range and then just over to Unicom at the moment. Evening, how are we all doing? Jace, how are we doing? So this is the reason why I don't like doing particularly long flights. Like a couple of hours is about the max I can generally do, especially streaming and stuff. There's so much we can talk about. Although we have got a nice moon to look at, which does make a big difference. So we've got another company message that's popped up. Chances are this company message is asking for our delay code. So that's easy ops. And it's asking for a 2-minute delay code. So if you're, I'm showing you that. So yeah, when you go on your messages, you get AAC menu and receive messages. So it's asking for a 2-minute code. So what we can do is we can have a look at the codes. So if you go on the tab here, we've got a delay allocation card. This gives us loads of issues. So it's actually, it was a ATC startup delay. So we can use the code ANZ. 2 minutes. So what we want to do is we want to head to the MCD menu, back to AOC menu, ADC delay, ANZ. And then allocate 2 minutes, click send. Next thing we'll do is we'll go back to receive messages, and in a second there will be another message just to say that's been received. So thank you for the review so far. We've got a few on, so there's the EDOPS message, just says ADC received, and it's as much as you need to do there. If you've made a mistake with the code, it will then tell you that point there's an issue with the code. But that's as much as we need to do there. One thing we will have a look at though is we'll have a look at our arrival route. So it's the RIPAM 4 Mark arrival. So I'm not very familiar with this arrival, so we will have to consider this. So we know that our intercept point is. Oh no, don't want to turn that around. Right. So we know our intercept point is Bavad. So that is our basically our last transition. So that's the transition onto the ILS. So here at Bivram, we know we've got a flight restriction of 250 knots speed, Inga 250 knots, XDO 250 knots, GM 451. We need to be below flight level 120. So the way you work out if it's below or above is you work out below by the line. So if the numbers, the letters and numbers are below the line, that means we need to be at below flight level 120. And then you see here we've got two lines, so that means we need to be at flight level 090 level at that time. And then let's turn that off. And as we proceed sort of further north down this chart, we've got some high terrain here on the left hand side, which is indicated in red. 7,100 is the minimum safe altitude there. The peak's at here 4,700 feet. Next restriction after that is 220 knots. And next one 220 knots, 220 knots, 220 knots. And we basically stay at flight level 90 all this time until it gives us, well, it either gives us another instruction or ATC tell us to descend lower. So it's fairly safe here. 4,600 feet is the sort of minimum safe. That's what all these 4642s mean. And then we'll transition down here to Bavad, and that's where we need to be above flight level 5,000, or sorry, 5,000 feet. We need to be above, and a max speed of 220 knots. Once we've done that, we will be able to see from this next chart is from Bavad, which is here. So mandatory 220, 5,000 feet. Then as we transition from Bavad, which is this point here, we want to then descend to 4,000 feet on the heading of 132, which will already be computed. And at 4,000 feet we want to be at a duty max speed of 200 knots. This thing, there's a lot of restrictions around Norway, obviously because of the landscape there. And then we can then head on a tracking of 192 degrees, 3,500 feet. And then at this point we can intercept onto the ILS. This point here indicates we are starting the ILS approach. and that is signified here as well. So that is the point where you'd intercept your ILS at that waypoint, 8.9 miles away from the airport. And then it gives you a couple of other waypoints. So we've got 4.0, which is GSW. So that just gives you that idea, so you know where you're at. Typically we reduce the minimum approach speed of 4 miles. Sometimes it's a little bit less, sometimes a bit more. Just depends. So thanks for the follow. Thanks. So hopefully that explains a little bit about the chart procedure, but obviously as we fly through it, we will talk through it as well. So hopefully that helps a little bit with that. We'll do a few videos on charts. Like I said, I'm not an expert with charts. I'm not a real world pilot, but it's just a few tips and tricks that I do. Sometimes when you first look at the chart, you're like, oh my lord, there's so many different options on there. It's hard to know what's what. So bear with me a couple of minutes. We're just going to for a quick wee break, and then we will start progressing. So we're about 60 miles from that waypoint of where we need to contact ATC. So we'll just hang fire for the minute, and we'll be back to you in a few seconds. So, like I say, we're just in our cruise phase at the minute, so it's pretty boring. That moon's certainly increasing in size, so I don't know if you can picture. You can see the plough there as well. It shows you how detailed the new flight sim is, though. So detailed compared to the others. Hey David, how are we doing? Like I say, if anyone's got any questions on charts or anything, want us to go through while we're in our cruise, we can do that, not a problem. Certainly not an issue. Like I say, we're at cruise level at the minute. Thank you for the likes as well, which helps. It really does help. Like I say, we had a few gifts the other day, which is much appreciated. Like I say, I'm not a huge knower of how TikTok massively works, but one thing we could do now, we're sort of in our cruise, we could get a bit of lighting on in there as well. But I'm really looking forward to the new Fenix Neo. That'll be really good when that happens eventually. We are looking at potentially getting a new camera as well, so I don't know if you've noticed one of the one on the left hand side is still quite good quality, and the one on the right is a little bit blurry, just because it's old really. However, one of the MCD one, this one has more advantages than this one. This one here. There. And obviously that gives us another challenge about how we're going to film the overhead as well as everything else. We're not too sure quite how that's going to work yet, but we'll find that out as we move along. It may be we just change the angle slightly to give you a little bit of a better point of view. Everything. It's difficult because you can't really see, I don't know what you guys can see of this, but on the screens it looks quite good. In terms of, you can see a lot of the digits and things. Not all of it, which is a shame. There we go. This didn't take too long to get out of Gatwick today. It was a fairly easy routing out of Gatwick. Like I said, we are going to move over to Norwegian airspace shortly. To be fair, he's only got two aircraft in his vicinity at the minute, so just having a quick look. Covering upper airspace, not them two. Okay. So yeah, it depends on what they're covering as well. Sometimes they're covering different things. I'll give you a slightly different angle and view. That's sky looks amazing. It's really cool. Yeah. So we'll be over to the ATC shortly. Yes, and everything's okay, working okay with the TikTok live at the minute. Seems all okay. Just not really seeing much, seen anyone else really join much. It's like not a huge amount going on at the minute. And I thank you for the two of you that are watching on YouTube though. I presume it's YouTube. Don't know if it's Alex know they're watching, so it's just I'm not sure if you're watching as well. So just reaching the halfway point, any second now we're going into the airspace, which would be really nice. So we'll wait for that notification to form up. Say 126055. Doesn't show as tuned on here, but it shows tuned on this side. We are hoping to get a proper Airbus panel at some point. Eventually I do think we probably will move to the throttles. I'm not sure when yet. It just provides other challenges because obviously it doesn't have the landing gear lever on it, which then provides us a little bit of a challenge of how we achieve that. but it is on the pre-order, but it's not paid for yet. It is on the pre-order list. Yeah, Tom, how are we doing? So hopefully any second now we'll get into his airspace. There we go. So we'll just double check the frequency, 126.55. Move that across.
Nominal flight 6065, Copenhagen, control your identified.
Copenhagen control, EasyJet A319, flight of 370 inbound and Bob.
EC9R7 Lima, Copenhagen control, hello, you're identified.
So he's just said identified, which means he can see us on the radar and all is good.
Lufthansa 1535, Roger, you can initially descend flight level 300.
One thing we are going to just double check though is we are going to start double checking so flight of 286. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at the charts. And we'll have a look at the chart and also look at the FCD as well, just to make sure that we speed. So Airline should be a max speed of 250 knots is our restriction there. GMS 1451. 451 flight level 120. So it should be below 120. So could actually go flight 100. And the speed restriction is still 250 knots. 427, we should be at level of flight level 90 at 250 knots, which is correct. For the next restriction is these two, which I'm going to presume 0.79 is 220. Just double check. It's the same restriction. Okay. Just going to double check that these are all correct. Which they probably are. Next restriction is 220 at 5,000, so 9,000 level. That's GM 452. That's correct. Next one, 5,000 feet above out. 220.
And then until 2 you're leaving my airspace, there's no further ATC available, switch to advisory, right?
4,000 feet, 3,500 feet, minus 3. That's all done. That's fine. Hello, Elena, how are you doing? So hopefully I'll be a little bit more interested.
Lufthansa 1535, there's no further ATC available, switch to advisory.
So you got a little bit, yeah, explore that possibility.
Good day, Center, this is 2845662, please confirm, thank you.
So we will do a short version of the video, so if you can't join us for...
Juliet 4562, currently on flight level 230, leaving Norwegian airspace soon, thank you. Please confirm.
He's definitely on the wrong frequency. Yep, last thing we're doing. So we're just going to double check and make sure there's no other ATC on. There's loads of ATC on, I'm just not fortunately not the one that we want. Sounds about right. Right, there we go. Can't have it every day. We will try and get ourselves signed up to a VATSIM event as well at some point soon.
Condor 4 Tango Lima, you are leaving my airspace, no further ATC available, switch to advisory, right?
Advisory for Condor 4 Tango Lima, bye bye.
Yeah, a little bit bumpy, isn't it, on this left side, huh? pick that up on there, but it's the VATSIM about a little bit. Just get buffed by a little bit of a crosswind as we go across. So the next thing we're going to be going across to is advisory as well, so unless something drastic changes. You can feel free to add my Discord if you want, Brooklyn. Feel free, mate. You look in the way you watch it on Twitch, aren't you? Bear with me 2 seconds, I'll get you a link. Join on Discord. I don't think the Discord information is on Twitch. I don't know, it probably is on Twitch, but you can feel free to have a look at my account as well on Twitch. It's available there. We'll follow you back if that's the case. To be fair, I could probably just open it up. Up to you if you wish. But yeah, if anyone wants to join Discord, feel free to join us. We've got a reasonable sized community on there. So let's try and I'll try and get you a link anyway for the invite to chat. There we go. Just send it over to Twitch as well. There you go. If you follow that link, that should give you an invite to our channel. No, thanks for the compliment, much appreciated. Do try, really do try. Not been that busy on TikTok this evening though. It's been a little bit steadier. So it's a little bit bumpy now, actually. So we have got the wing lights on, which generally speaking they probably wouldn't be on for the entire flight, but just gives us some nice visuals as well. I'd like to fly across and see the Northern Lights at some point. I think is available on flights. Depends when. So about halfway across his airspace.
Good evening, Copenhagen. Scandinavian 295, flight level 360, inbound Nisby.
Hello, Scandinavian 295, Copenhagen Control, you are identified.
Just trying to find it. Scandinavian 295. That's the one here, it could be one of these here though, to be fair. There you go, 295. Just approaching Copenhagen at the moment. We'll have to do a couple of flights to Copenhagen. But it's actually shorter than Oslo. We'll probably do a return flight from Oslo tomorrow, probably tomorrow evening. We may fly back up to Edinburgh, to be fair, 'cause it's quite a nice little trip across from Oslo to Edinburgh. It's not that long either, it's only about an hour and 30 minutes. Not long at all. Filipino girl, how are we doing? Yeah, hopefully that sorts you out. Well, if you can't do it, I'll look at adding you after the stream. So let's jump back in the cockpit and see what's going on. So we've got 3 tons of fuel. Let's have a look at our fuel prediction. So we've got
766, you're leaving my airspace. There's no further ATC available. Switch to advisory. Point.
Section 2 advisory, have a good evening.
so we've got 27 minutes extra fuel, so it's not a huge amount of time extra fuel.
Potential 865, Copenhagen Control, hello, you're identified.
Just hoping that we get some ATC on at Oslo. That'd be quite nice, to be fair. But we will fly the full procedure, just because I'm not that confident with Oslo either. When I have flown here before, we have had diverts and directs, which have been quite nice, to be fair. So Rickhammer went to what flight? 280, I think it was. But we could just do a steady descent. 26. We'll just do 260. It's obviously already computed that, but I prefer a bit of a steady descent. So what we'll do is we'll wait till we get out of this airspace. Once we're out of the airspace, though. pretty much move straight across. So it's see the rudder's kicking in a little bit as well. You'll be able to see it, to be fair, on the flight control panel. So look, sometimes you will see it kick in. So that's within normal limits, I think. What I understand is the green line. These are all the different hydraulic systems that it's using, so we've got green, blue and yellow. So it's currently pitched at 0.8 up, so we don't have any control over that.
Good day, this is 2845662. Please confirm that you can hear me. Thank you.
Review 10 by 10. Very loud.
Who is the station calling opening?
Two 4562, what frequency should I go to? Thank you.
The last transmission was blocked.
28456, can you repeat?
Your last transmission was blocked. And who are you talking
What
to?
does that mean? 28456.
Scandinavian 295, when ready, descend flight level 290. When ready, descend flight level 290, Scandinavian 295. And whose transmission was blocked before? What were you yelling at?
Was it me?
Roger, we'll repeat to 28456. Leaving in Norwegian airspace, now currently on flight level of 230. Please, Roger, thank you.
But no call sign.
Scandinavian 53 Tango, you're leaving my airspace. There's no further ATC available. Switch to advisory right.
So we've got what, 160 miles or so. In our descent phase, we're just sort of like halfway over the North Sea at the moment, and we'll be starting our descent down. So it's a little bit bumpy actually. The wind's quite variable at the minute, which why you notice the aircraft bobbing about a bit. Shouldn't be anything of significant concern for us though. In fairness, we probably should have the weather radar on one, but nothing on localised radar. It is literally just a crosswind of 30 knots or so. As I say, it doesn't look that far, but we've still got a fair way to go. We're just over halfway, about an hour into the flight since departure. 57 minutes since takeoff. So we could have a quick look at fuel actually, just to see where fuel should be used. Just double check our fuel weights and stuff as well. So fuel on board, so we are at In Bob, just past. They're way down here. So in Bob we should have 4008 tons of fuel, so we've actually got an extra 400 kilograms, which is fine. So to Ripham we should have 2,696 2.69 tons of fuel. So we'll see how that the rest is on. Good old side stick fault, which you see every day. Actually, we're not actually.
At 11.9 to Copenhagen now, 12119.555. Right.
One thing we do need to have a look at is how much short brake we need to use.
Now to Copenhagen, 119.555. 119.555, Scandinavian 295.
So just refresh the matter, 190 at the moment. So have a look down here as well, see what this is looking like. 1, 2. Have a quick look at the temperature as well. And that is got 12 degrees, so lost a degree there. QNH still 102. No significant change. So we want to have a look at our landing weight. A landing weight we can get from the pilot brief. Landing weight to 57.9. So it's obviously quite a long runway. It was at 3,600 metres. We require 1,800, which is a surface of 2,100. Like I say, we can use this very low quite comfortably. So that's part of our plan. So it's not long now till we leave his airspace, and then we can start a steady descent to Ripham. And we'll go from there. Maybe it's just a few hundred feet a minute. Like I say, we're being battered a little bit by the wind, which is quite typical around this sort of area of the North Sea. Just the end of the jet stream there. Hey James, how are we doing? Like I said, guys, feel free to give us a like and subscribe on YouTube as well as TikTok. There's got quite a lot more content on YouTube as well. If you guys watch, especially if you're new to the channel, there's quite a few videos on there. Pretty short 200 I think now on there. For you guys all to watch. Like I say, we will be a short clip of the takeoff and landing for this flight, as we do it pretty much with every flight out. Turns out bad the landing is. If it's really, really bad, then we don't tend to bother. But so we're being buffeted by a little bit by the wind at the minute. Not anything too severe, so it's really too concerning in that respect. Like I say, we are going to be any second now. We're going to be moving over to Unicom again. and then we can start descent shortly. After probably about 100 miles or so. Scott, how are we doing? So we're just in our cruise ready phase. It's there's not a lot of great deal going on, to be fair, not a huge amount at all. I'd say if you guys have any questions or anything, I'll try to answer them. If you want to know how everything works with the Fenix, and feel free to ask as well. So in a second now we should go back to better will be past that point if there's airspace.
EC907 Lima, you're leaving my airspace, there's no further ATC, switch to advisory, correct?
Just for advisory, EC907 Lima, have a good evening.
You too.
He's friendly. This is one thing you'll find as well coming up to Norway and stuff. I've personally found that the controllers are very, very friendly. Fairness. Not saying they're not everywhere else, but I don't know, seem a bit extra friendly. So we've got another aircraft crossing our path at the minute, and he is, where is he? So he's in front of us. Can't see him on the radar yet. He's, I think, at lower level there. Where is he? So he's at 38,000, so he's 1,000 below us. Chance he'll be out of our range before we get there. So we don't have a look at the fuel prediction. We're way above our fuel prediction. We have 3 tons remaining. So we can consider getting a touch quicker, but to be honest, it's not a huge big amount. Maybe 8.8 is probably the max we could go. Which is around 450 knots. True speed of 160. Ground speed of 150 knots. So 152 miles to rebound. Like I say, we're being buffeted quite heavily by the wind at the moment. You can see the wind bouncing about all over the shop. Not sure who's watching on Twitch and YouTube. Feel free to say hello so we know who you are. Bouncing about all over the shop. So we can see the land just coming into view now. Let's bounce them out a little bit. Yeah, the flight there. So, like I say, we've got about, well, I'm just showing 133 miles now before we start our descent. Yeah. So we're just coming in line slightly. What we can do though is we can start to look at restrictions 250 miles, which is not a problem. What we can consider doing though is we could consider sending it to 260. We can just have a gentle look. So just 700 feet per minute, achieve 800 feet per minute. Achieve what we need to achieve. We'll go back to manage speed though, so the computer will identify them to select manage speed. Depends if it exceeds it, which it naturally will do slightly. So there is an aircraft that lowers it. Fine, correct. Hey Fernando, how are we doing? I'm pretty sure I could see an aircraft underneath as well. Could be wrong. Pretty sure that's what we can see there. Nothing on the radar there, but it's probably because it's not causing an issue at the moment. So there will be a speed restriction shortly. It will recommend soon to so it's estimated London time being 2053. So that's a little way away yet. A little way to go. There we go. Sure, that's definitely another aircraft below. I see that was a light. That's just a little bit extreme. Like I say, we already started our descent really. We could go back to managed speeds. We won't really change a great deal. So fuel required at the minute. So 2.6 tons we need to be at this next waypoint where you're at. So no issue with that whatsoever. Have a quick look on Discord as well. Thanks everyone to join our Discord channel as well. We've got a fair few members in there now, but no, feel free to join it. Just trying to have a quick look to see. See how many members we've got now. Honestly, you're making a slow descent there. Very, very slow. It's a nice steady descent. So what we need really. One thing we will do is we'll make sure we've got the charts there ready. So like we say, from here we'll be then following the chart. So once we get to this is kind of the first waypoint. There's no other traffic to necessitate a hold there, but if we did need to do a hold, something we can have a quick chat about. So let's get rid of the pen. So if we did need to do a hold, what we would do is we would, so the information here, so this is the inbound course, and that's the outbound course. So we would actually insert the inbound course 051, and it says minimum flight altitude of flight level 100. So we need to be at altitude. What we'd do if we wanted to hold, it's really straightforward with the Fenix. We'd see the waypoint here, which is RIPAM, click on it, and there's a button that says hold. What we'd do is on the inbound course, so 051 is the inbound course, so that's the one we're flying towards. So put the inbound course 051, and then we can see on here it's a left hand circuit indicated by the arrows. See that, I'll press left and do that. So depending on your altitude depends on how long the distance is. So it's either 1.0 or 1.5. So if you're above, I think it's flight level 140, you need to put 1.5. If it's you're below flight level 140, you put 1. So we'll do 1.4. There's 1.5, and that'll increase the distance there to 9.3. There you go. And all you do, if we wanted to insert this, as you can see here, it's actually going to compute this. It's going to give us a similar device like this going forward. So you can just see it here on, can't see that. You can just see here on the restrictions, that is the inbound course and the hold. So what we could do, if I click insert here, that's now going to put this hold pattern in place for us, which basically follows and maps this. So if ATC say you need to hold at, as I said, EasyJet Lima hold short RIPAM, hold at RIPAM, send flight level 70 for example. It won't be that, but that's an example for you. And then you would hold at that waypoint. It is quite rare to hold on flight sim, to be fair, in VATSIM, because the traffic's not there. I have known of a couple of holds, it doesn't happen very often, and that was over Edinburgh, during an Edinburgh event. And then once you're in the hold, if they say, just route direct RIPAM and continue path, you'd then click the word exit here. So I'll click exit now, insert, and then we'll go back to that normal routing that it was at. So that's how we do a hold. Those who wanted to know. Anyway, back to the original flight plan. So initial restriction here, so we've got 250 knots, that's our first restriction. And basically what we'll do is we'll follow this restriction in, and then we'll tick it off as we go down. That's probably the best way of doing it. Another thing we need to look at is after landing. So once we land, it is quite a big airport, Oslo. So we are landing on runway 190 right. So we are landing on this runway here. So we are not going to use a huge amount of the runway. So there's a few things that you can look at. Because it's quite a big airport, I would highly recommend checking the information. So we go to all charts, arrival, ground charts, airport briefing, and you want the arrival departing route. So we want the arrival brief. So that's general. You can read them all in fairness, it's just full of information there. But for us at the moment, what we're interested in is arrival and departure. So what we're after is where we can vacate to after landing. So Cat 2 and 3 operations, 01 tells you what runways are approved for that use. Runway operation, if an aircraft cannot obtain contact with go on the ground, the pilot should immediately vacate the landing runway and hold position until contact with ground is established. If the aircraft is regarded to be clear of the runway, the whole past the holding point. Taxiway when vacating the runway that's in use. The taxi procedures, this is what we're interested in here. Allowances should be made for 10 minutes for taxiing time. So that means that we need to allow an extra 10 minutes for fuel for taxi time. We've got an extra 26 minutes of fuel now. So that's not going to be an issue for us. And it says here, when exiting at Alpha 4, Alpha 5, Alpha 6, Bravo 1, Bravo 3, Bravo 4, 6. Exit speed must be adjusted to allow for gradually increased curvature. So it gives you just general information about the runway and what's involved with the runway. I don't think there's any other information regards to actual arrival routes. There's a little bit about arrival here. It's not a particular chart, that's just the normal charts. Which means then we can pretty much choose where we want to vacate at. So let's flip the chart so we're looking at it from the direction we're going to runway, no, choose not runway. So one line of right is so we're on this direction. We're not going to use a huge amount of runway. So we've already said that we're going to use probably about 1,800 meters, so chances are probably around Alpha 5, Alpha 4, so somewhere here we're probably going to be vacating. And what I'll do, I always have open on the other screen the next, basically all the taxi routes, so we know. So Alpha 5, Alpha 4, and then November, so we'll need to hold short on Alpha 5, and then we'll get close to wherever the stand may be. Hopefully we'll have a stand fairly close to the runway, because like I say, it's a huge airport, so chances are we'll probably stay on this side of it. That's another thing you need to consider as well. So when ATC give you your stand information on arrival, it's always worth having the ground chart starred with all the parking stands and taxi stands. Here you go. So it's always worth having that starred, so that when they give you a stand that you're not sure about, you know exactly where it is. Also, if you use Navigraph, so we're in Navigraph on here, we can zoom in to the airport. So if we zoom into this airport, this will give you stand information as well. So this is just as valuable as everything else that we're looking at, really. So it's always worth having that in the back of your minds, but for now we'll keep on the chart here. For this first restriction of about 30 miles. So we're pretty much at the point we need to be at now. Not doing too bad for time, 1 hour 22 minutes we're flying so far. So the next waypoint is Inga, which we have already identified on here as the next waypoint. There's no difference there, it's just the same level. Well, I say the same level, it's not really. So the first actual altitude restriction is below flight 120. So what we could actually consider doing at this point is actually consider the first restriction. So it's actually saying flight 100 Jim 400, which is what we want to achieve. So let's bring our altitude down to 10,000 with increase our rate of descent, and wait for that blue market to come into line with that. So 1,400 feet is what we want to achieve a flight level 100 at that point. Obviously that's not accounting for the fact that we're going to have a speed restriction in a minute, which it will override. But that will now say we're going to get there for flight level 100 at the point we need to be at. But we'll have a quick look as well. It's always worth to just keep scanning all the frequencies on that. So there isn't any ATC on here at the moment that we can see, which is fine. It's kind of what we expect. So we're expecting runway 19 right. Looks like there is an aircraft using the other runway as well. But you can use dual runway operation anyway. So we've already selected off it low for landing, so that's all ready and done. Obviously the earlier you get configured for landing, the easier it makes things. So configure yourself as much as you can. We'll get the seatless on about 10,000 feet. So. Like I said, the flight time's actually a lot less from Edinburgh than it is from Gatwick, so it just makes a difference flying from Gatwick. Gives a little bit of a longer stream for you guys as well. So we're going to make a left-hand turn now towards our inbound course, and this is now the start of the STARS, Standard Terminal Arrival Route, which is what we're following. So we can see ourselves now identified on the map. We're now past this reverse waypoint, so like I say, we can tick that off as completed. And it's a good idea if you're just starting out as well, just to tick yourself off as you're going down it, then you know where you're at. From there really. So the next thing is a speed reduction of 250 knots. So as you can see, the aircraft is trying to descend 250 knots. One thing we can do to support this is we can bring some spoilers out, but I don't know if you were with us yesterday. It will not use all the spoilers. It will only use flap 2, 3 and 4, which you can see here on the wing. And it will only use them up to 15 degrees. It won't use them for very long. That's all because the computers are telling what spoilers can be used at the moment. So it's literally just to control the speed and enough to get us back to that 250 knot, which is doing nicely. And it's more than 1,800 feet, that's when it starts to struggle a little bit more. But you get a nice early descent, and if ATC give you a late descent, just tell them that you're struggling to descend, and they'll give you a better vector for the approach. Obviously, when you're just flying manually, like I say, we are on VATSIM, but unfortunately there's not any ATC on. So when it's flashing on, which means it doesn't require it anymore. Oslo traffic EasyJet Lima inbound Ingra, reducing the speed 250 knots to something like 100. Sometimes it's handy just to give regular announcements as well. I don't think there's many aircraft about in the vicinity, but it's just handy just in case there are. But occasionally you'll find this, that there are some that are in the vicinity. So Oslo itself actually is over to our right side further. Don't know if we can quite pick up on it. It's over on this right side here. The airport's about 30 minutes away from the actual city, from what I understand. If anyone's actually been to Oslo, feel free to give suggestions, because there's someone that were wishing to go for a weekend somewhere. So like I say, we're at 19,000 feet now. We don't have no real need to increase our rate of descent or decrease it. Minus 1,400 seems sufficient. We're holding our speed nicely. So if our speed was increasing, what we would do is reduce the rate of descent. If spoilers weren't effective. But for what we need, it should be absolutely fine. So flight level 170, like I said, making good descent now. So basically the restriction is 90, isn't it? We need to be, well, restriction is actually below flight level 120, so we decided to go a little bit below, well that's saying that we want to be below 120, and that gets us closer to the 90. If we get close to the 90, that's where we need to stay level out for quite a while as we enter our approach. So once we get to Babad, over 5,000 feet, get themselves in. Obviously, if ATC was online, chances are they would be given us the vectors for the approach, and generally speaking, they normally do a bit of a shortcut in this approach. And some people will use the shortcuts even when ATC is not. I think because it's an airport we've not really been to before, we'll fly the full procedure, and then you guys can see the full procedure. So the airport's actually about 40 miles away. Don't have a visual of it yet. I'm hoping it doesn't lag too much on landing. So we've had some issues previously where it lags on landing, which it could do, but there we go. So how are we doing? So 15,000 feet, give it another 1,000 or so, we get the cabin secure. And I don't know what you guys think. So the next level racing seat that we've got does have seatbelts on it, but I find it a little bit, I don't mind it, but I find it a little bit restrictive at points. I don't know if any of you guys have seen some of the, there's a module out there, I think it's like £1,000. Basically like pulls on your seatbelts as you accelerate and stuff, which is quite cool. But very, very expensive. Well, I thought it was actually a full motion platform, it turns out it's not at all. Full motion platform would be amazing, but realistically I don't think that would be that beneficial. Well, considering the size of the setup now anyway. So 14,000 nearly. And so we're still maintaining that speed nicely, we're just slightly above it, but we're there or thereabouts. So the next speed restriction is 220 knots at GM428, which you can just see, I don't know if you guys can see it so much on the navigation display there. So once we get here, you can't see the cursor anyway, but yeah, GM428, 220 knots is the next restriction. So yeah, we'll activate the land system once we blow flight 100. Go from there. There's still no ATC on. One thing we can do, just while we're continuing that descent, we'll get the seatbelt sounds on now. Just going to request another 80th, or another weather request, just to make sure we've got the latest weather for landing. So ASE menu, weather, echo, ENG. I always get very confused because of all the UK codes, it gets a little bit. But yes, click send, and we'll go to the messages page and go from there. So weather data, there we go. So speed is now 228 knots, so we just strip that. 228 knots. KVK 14 degrees Celsius. Fenix 1210. Okay. So that is the latest weather. So what we will do now is we'll go to the performance page, approach page. So Fenix 1010, 40 degrees Celsius. We'll actually increase temperature somewhat, which is very bizarre. 228 knots. That's the latest. And everything else will stay the same. So there we go.
We'll be landing soon, so please put your bags and laptops away. Fasten your seatbelt, close your seat table, put the armrest down, and open the
So that flight restriction there is saying flight 100, which is what we're just about to achieve.
safety card in your seat pockets. It contains important safety information. In an emergency, leave all bags on board. At EasyJet, we're committed to reducing our environmental impacts. We'll be asking you to place recyclable waste in a separate.
So we're going to have stand 14 on landing. that's what we're going to plan to use anyway. And we're just going to move back to our charts. So we can now say that we've gone past 2 waypoints, so that one is now complete and ticked. That one's now complete and ticked. This is the next restriction here from 120. So that is basically our next restriction, which we're about to hit now, which we are below. So we're at 10,000 feet, so we're going to put the landing lights on. And we'll go from there. So next restriction in a second is going to be to descend to flight 90, so we can achieve that quite easily. 50 miles, 1,000 feet is fairly easy to achieve with that. So literally 300 feet will do that. 9,000. Few clouds now. And not too far, so 1955 is our landing time, so we've got another 20 odd minutes. We are going to, like I said, we are going to try and fly the full approach as well. We're still 80 miles on the threshold at the minute. As like I say, typically we normally get a direct map somewhere along here. But I think for you guys, what we'll do is we'll do the full procedure for you, just so you can see what it's fully like. So now we're below flight level 100, we can actually select our gate on GSX. So we already say that we're going to select gate 14. And what we could do, because there isn't any ATC on at the minute, we could also select, so we want gate 14, which is a small jet, which is fine. We use Menzies, and then we should have an option, hopefully, on landing so once we land, we can actually request a following car. They will take us to the gate, which is a nice little addition to GSX Pro, and it's certainly worth the money. It's a little bit expensive to start with, it's about £30 I think, memory. It's certainly well worth it. Changes the immersion quite greatly. That allows you to have stairs as well that you can walk up and down, which is quite cool. So 9,000 feet. Which is where restrictions, and we'll stay at 9,000 for a little while now. So 9,000 feet, but like I say, the transition level is 7,500. Just try and look at H+, now I think it's 102 0. And like I say, we've got landing lights on. If you can quite see them, there you go. We are all on and ready. That's one of the nice things when the overhead comes as well, we'll actually be able to use landmarks. Right. And then on. Like I said, the next restriction is 5,000 feet, but we're not clear to that just yet. Like I said, we could consider. So we're just about to go into speed reduction, 220 knots. Obviously, if you guys don't want me to fly the full approach, let me know. We can do a direct over. It just seems like quite a lengthy approach, whereas we can get down a few minutes earlier actually. So I'll tell you what, we will do that. We will cut the approach a little bit. So 1 to 75,000, 220 knots, so we're just there in a minute. So that's that done. And then what we can do is we're going to do a direct route there, not there. Let's go on here. So speed's now back to 220. I'm going to go direct Baghdad. Just going to announce that as well. Oslo traffic, EasyJet Lima, turning right, direct Baghdad, descending 5,000. So 5,000 open descent. And we still want to follow that speed restriction to 220 knots. We still want to hold that restriction there. Okay, as soon as you go open, so ideally what you want to do is go managed. If you go managed, it will then achieve it by because that's the next restriction. The one thing we are going to do is, because there's not much cloud, we're going to put the terrain navigation on as well, just as there is high terrain in the vicinity. And also going to go with strobes as well. So once we get the Baghdad, we'll descend to 2,000. We'll also have a look at the chart for that. So we'll move to this chart now. Baghdad's 5,000 feet. Then we want to descend to 4,000 to be OD. Then 3,500, which is the high lesson set. We will get the landing system active, so that's all on. We will arm the spoilers. We may need to use them a little bit, but we'll see how we go. At this point we could consider using flaps 1. We're controlling our speed nicely, so it's not really a huge requirement for that. And then I've got 30 minutes from touchdown, that's not nearly 10 minutes off our journey. So 500 feet per minute, it's actually going to exceed that, so what we'll do is it's going to exceed that. Descent, PS1 is 1,100. Just get that descent in there. So we haven't got the runway in sight at the minute. There's a cloud around us at the minute as well. We are going to have a quick look at nearby to see if there is any aircraft nearby, which there isn't at the minute, which is good. Oslo traffic EasyJet Lima, 5,000. Right, turn onto ILS, runway 19 right. So we want QNH 1010, which is all set ready. Just going to dumb down the lights a touch and turn off this backlighting as well. Dark as possible. So we're nearly that 5,000 point. We're holding that speed nicely at 220 knots. So the next speed restriction is 200 knots. So we may require some. We could consider some. So actually, our speed is increasing a touch, but it's not increasing enough to worry me at the moment. It's holding quite nicely. That's one of the Fenix updates as well. The Fenix update does do that. It all depends on the wind as well. Obviously, it's going to jump up and down a touch. So I'm going to move to 10 miles, that gives us that nice circle there. So we're going to descend 4,000 feet, we're going to move the altitude onto hundreds. So we can reduce our vertical speed now as well. So put it up to the right side, hopefully we'll have, we've got an issue with the runway there. On the right side. So we've still got 200 knots. Once we get past this next waypoint, we'll reduce to 200 knots. We'll ensure we won't activate the approach yet. Hold off for that for the minute. So, any second now, so get that right turn now. We'll now reduce speed 200 knots. And this is where you could consider using a little bit of spoilers just to get control that speed. But see how it goes naturally first. Naturally, it's going down. So, approach checklist, Sparrow 1010, seatbelts on, minimums. Now, 943, elevate low, edge of boat to north. So, we're going to go flaps 1 at this point. Kill that speed at extension there. Secure for land, so 3,500 is the next, and this is where you can start to consider. So we'll now activate the approach, so enable approach and enable AP2, that gives us Cat 3 dual, and then we are on lock star. Oslo track easy 97 Lima, establish 19 right, 12 track marks. So we're 12 miles from the threshold. One thing we can consider doing once we get that speed below. So we're going to reduce speed now, 160 knots until 4 me. Just announce that as well. Oslo track easy, 97 Lima, reducing speed, 160 knots till 4. So we've got a crosswind at the minute, 28 knots at the minute. But that could be because everything else is gone. So we are below flaps 2 extension, so what we'll do is we will extend to flaps 2. So we're now on the glide slope nicely. So we've got 30 knot crosswind at the minute. It's not ideal. One thing we'll just double check is enabled ready for us. The AP is ready after landing. So we're trying to control that speed, we're struggling a little bit. So what we're bringing some spoilers out. Let's just bring that speed back a touch more. The only problem with doing that, it also makes it a little bit of a tip. So
2,000.
Get down. Flaps 3. So get down through green. Speed check flexible. So 160 knots, got 5 miles left from the threshold. Landing checklist, go around that to 3,500. Chemical advised. Landing memo, eco memo, landing no blue. So it's a little bit blustery, isn't it? Look at that. We're nearly at the limit there, 35 knots at the minute. That's literally the limit. We'll disconnect in a second. At 1,000 will disconnect. Hoping that wind will calm down a touch. So, minimum approach speed. Manual flight.
1,000.
Checked. wind's coming down a touch. So a little bit left of the threshold. There you go, wind's coming down nicely now. Stable.
500.
Land.
Hundred above.
Checked.
300. Minimum.
Continue.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
And spoilers. Reverse screen. Quite low detail. Braking. Spoilers for track flaps, tracks. Excellent. So we're going to vacate this next left.
Please keep your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is switched off.
After landing, radar frequency system is off.
Have a look around you to make sure you take everything with you. Be careful when you open the lockers as items may have moved.
Just one.
Smoking is not allowed until you're in a smoking area. Thank you for flying with us today.
Also track easy, and as in Lima vacating Alpha 4. Groups come off for a minute. So we're just going to hold position. What we're going to do, we're going to wait for a push. So what we'll do, we're just going to hold position here. We're going to press the follow me car, and I'll take us to stands. I'll just show you a couple of the features of GSX whilst we're at it. So I'll just hold here a second. Like I said, we're just waiting for. So there is another aircraft actually taxiing. Is that Mike? So let's just get rid of the chart. EasyJet A319 taxiing via Mike November Hotel Golf Stand 14. So release the brake, I'll follow him. See where we end up. Like I said, there's not a great deal of traffic about, so we can just see where we want to go. Cheers for the like. Okay, so just start following him. So obviously we'll take the land speed once we get onto stand. Just need to, so he wants us onto, oh, he's taking us all the way to Echo. Oh, okay, fair enough. Like I said, there's not many other aircraft about, so it wasn't as a major issue at the moment. And it didn't really stutter on landing, which was quite nice. Like I said, we'll try and do a few more daytime flights as well. A little bit more exciting and interesting. Not quite as dark though. I don't mind a nighttime landing. Has its own complexity, that does. So we're going to be turning right into Golf on the look at those. Just stands down here, so right onto golf. Only a small stand we're going to. So something indicates to me you're going left here. But going right for you. Some right's one of them. So what happens when you start fighting with the controls? So that starts off. Make that right hand turn now. Not sure. I think we've got a safe dock. Let's have a look. No, there's no safe dock. Just waiting, I think. Just slower, so it's down to about 4 knots for the minute. And just trying to see if there is safe dock. I can't see it at the moment. If it is there. Could be safe dock's not active here, but it thinks it's using safe dock, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure we'll be able to sort of work it out. We're in line with the door, be ideal. Oh, there is safe dock, it's just not active for whatever reason. So I think we'll hold position here. Fucking right, so that's not bad considering no safe dock, pretty much where we need to be. So naughtily we didn't activate the APU, so we'll just have to wait a second for the APU to warm up, and then we will get ourselves shut down. Whilst that's happening, we could consider shutting down engine number 1. So we can't do. One of the problems when you get a little bit sidetracked with things. So once the APU is running, we don't necessarily need the bleed air, particularly. Can't have a quick look at parking brakes to make sure that the brakes generally just make sure they're not too warm, which they're not. They're all in the green. It's good. So AP should be available any second, really. There you go, APU is available. So we'll disconnect engine number 2. Beacon off.
Currently parked at the wrong parking position.
No, I'm not. No. Because I'm parked in the wrong place. I don't think I am. Stand 14, it's not the wrong place. So, external power's available, AP therm off, shocks are in place, so we'll disconnect brake. Fuel pumps can of course open and checklist, pipe brake or chocks are set, engines off, wings off, fuel pumps off. That's all done on stand 1 hour 59, so we said 2 hours 5 minutes, so we've made about 5 minutes in terms of that.
You are currently parked at the wrong parking position.
I don't think I am parked at the wrong parking position, but there we go. So what we'll do is we will revoke that, and then we'll request the boarding.
The boarding requested.
There we go. So hopefully passengers will get off in a moment. But no, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been a lovely flight. Let's just quickly review the flight just to see what our landing rate was. I think it would have been a little bit harder than 402 feet per minute. A bit harder than the last couple of landings we've done. But just considering how windy it was on approach, it's not really surprising. Like I say, we're just waiting for, I don't know if jetways actually function here or what the scenario is with them here. I imagine they do work. Let's see. Maybe not. But anyways, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It's been much appreciated. I've really enjoyed the flight. And hopefully we'll see you again in another video. Thanks, and speak to you soon.